And this one, while we do have an advantage in terms of combat strength, can be quite easily lost dependent on tactics and strategies employed by both sides. Obviously, if she is remarkably better than I am, or if I get myself killed early on, then it is highly likely that she will achieve victory over us. Hello, and welcome back to our Duelist adventures. Now we're here in the smithy, and you may think, well, why are you playing as your brother? Well, yeah, that's actually something that I always forget. Whenever you go into the smithy, you can utilize your companion's stamina to make stuff. And as you can see, I've already done a little bit on Mr. Diakosos here because, well, I had a little bit of hardwood left over and I thought, hey, okay, that's going to make a pretty significant difference. So I decided, you know what, let's just do some refining with him. Let's do some smelting with him as well while I can, and then we'll do some smelting with Najun as well. As you can see, smelting actually doesn't give us a huge amount of skill points, which I'm a little bit, gotta say, I'm a bit surprised at. Maybe we just can't see the amount of experience that we're getting on the companions just because they are indeed companions and not actually not actually the player character. But you can see here we gain 7 smithing experience every single time we do anything in that regard, which is actually hilarious in my opinion. I feel like that should be much more, but obviously we have nothing in smithing at the moment, so I suppose it actually makes sense quite a bit that they wouldn't have significant experience gains from it. Anyway, there is actually a tournament going on in Askar, as we now have the perk for the theming, surrounding our character and everything like that. It makes a great deal of sense for me to head over there as soon as possible. Now, I've been doing a little bit of fighting as well. I don't know whether that is actually even readily apparent at this point, but I've been doing quite a bit of fighting and basically just auto-resolving against any looter parties that are reasonably significant. Nothing too dramatic, of course, because I don't really want to head in against 40 bandits and not show you what's going on in that particular fight. But you can see here there's a desert cultist band once again. They really do need to get on top of these people because they really need to try and whittle them down a little bit. It's kind of getting a bit out of hand now at this point. Prize is the smackers. Wait a minute. Just hang on a second. I'm going to actually just look at the patch notes real quick, because there were patch notes very recently. Yes, I am playing on the latest version, by the way. I'm playing on the latest version, which is 1.5.5, and it is indeed the beta version. Now, there is a change in that. It probably will not affect actual save games right now. At least I think it probably won't. That's the reason why we're still having this kind of thing happen. But they actually did fix this. And it says player-crafted items are no longer going to be given as tournament prizes. It's also in the main branch hotfix as well. So in other words, in 1.5.4, if you're playing on the main branch, then that is also fixed there. However, as you can no doubt see, that is not actually working for me right now. So I assume it does get applied when you actually, well, make a new game, I guess. That's probably what's going to happen there. Anyway, Ellil is probably going to prove himself to be a very worthy adversary. And I'm not going to be too pleased about fighting. Oh, terrible. Okay, so let me actually just switch to using the knife as a melee weapon. I also forgot about that. Yes, I also forgot about that. So this is going to be... Oh, get it. Oh, the knife is actually really... Oh, you know what? Oh, I've got a good idea for a future series. Oh, yes, I certainly do. Can you guess what it's going to be? I think you probably can. Oh, yes. My idea is that, literally, when the roguery tree is a little bit more fleshed out, I'm just going to make a character that uses a knife, and that's it. Because then I can consistently say, hey, mate, you think this is a knife? This is a knife. And then bring out an extremely small knife. That's basically what I'm going to do. But obviously that's not accurate to the reference point that I was trying to make there, but it is amusing. That's basically what I wanted to do there. Okay, so this guy is actually... What? An Aserai peasant is actually beating us right now. Okay, wait a minute. Nope, you're not going to get me skewered, sir. Thank you very much. You got killed by a traitor. Yeah, I guess that's actually pretty good, but yeah. I personally feel like the knives in Bannerlord are secret OP. I feel like they are secret OP at the moment, because you see these things, right? Maybe I can get another one. Ah, I can't get another one. Unfortunate. But you saw the swing speed of that thing, right? And I'm actually able to block with it as well. Because in Warband, the fast swing speed was balanced in a certain way. Basically being that you couldn't really block with it without a shield. And as a result, you didn't really want to be caught out in a, shall we say, indefensible situation when you didn't have a shield. So if you were in a tournament or in a 1-versus-1 duel type situation, you always wanted to have some kind of backup weapon, unless you had the ability to go full offense, and that's generally what you would tend to do. If you were in that kind of situation in a tournament, for example, and you only had a knife, you're not able to block with it in Warband, so you got to be a little bit wily about things, and you got to be very, yeah, as you can see right there, something like that, just staying at arm's length. But of course, when you have a knife in your hand, it's highly unlikely you'll be able to even stay at arm's length, because the reach of these things is so incredibly short that you're going to have to get in there. And it's going to be very, very difficult and indeed dangerous to be able to even get kills like that. And speaking of that, oh dear. Oh, I'm actually kind of surprised that he's not beating me off the block right now. No. Ooh, nice dodge. Yes. Okay, there we go. Whew. That was that was good. But still a little bit dicey right there. A little bit dicey, but there you go. We gained 6 renown, which is exactly why we are doing that. And amusingly enough, we get the sword that I created earlier in the series back into our inventory, and it actually does sell for a pretty pitiful amount, actually. By the way, earlier in the video when I was looking at this thing, oh wait a minute, there's 2 smacker swords. What? I've just duplicated it, as you can see. Well, that's actually amusing, but yes, on the one hand, we've duplicated it, but on the other hand, it was showing the smacker sword as being a one-handed, but you can quite clearly tell that it's not, it's a two-handed. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting, to say the least. Okay, so otherwise, we're just going to be selling all this stuff right here, and I might be buying some horses, because I've realized that as our army continues to grow, because I do have quite a significant capacity now, let's just try and get a couple more horses. As you can see, it actually does make a pretty big difference. And even if I spend... It doesn't really matter either. Like, if I spend 6,000 or if I spend 10,000 or something like that, we're going to still have a decent amount of cash. And speaking of that, I am going to need to do something about my passive money generation, because at the moment we have 2 breweries, as you can see right there. They're not really producing as much as I would want them to, but I obviously can't really do much about that. And we have no caravans running at the moment. There's a very obvious reason for that as well, because the Calradia War mod does add so many different parties and clans and potential people that want to kill my caravans. It does make things very difficult for them to be able to survive. So in those kinds of situations, it's going to be very difficult to keep caravans up and running. So the only thing that I can really think to do is go over to another town and just buy another workshop. And that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I can really do right now. So we have 2 breweries, one in Askar, one in Sanala. And I suppose a good way to go now would be to go to Kasira or Iakis and take a look and see what kind of villages are nearby. I assume that that's probably going to be it. Oh, hello there. Southern slavers. Okay, so these guys have heavy... Yes, as you can see, they have heavy cavalry. It's not going to work, unfortunately. It's not going to work for me to do anything with these guys. I would very much like to, don't get me wrong. I'd love to do that. But no, not in this case. Okay, so it seems like the speed is maxed out right now, but we're going to gain some decent trade skill right here as well. I think I might be speccing a little bit into smithing, just so that I can get a little more in the way of skill points. I think that skill points might be quite useful here. And we've got grain, and we have fish. I believe that fish doesn't have any kind of workshop attached to that particular resource. I don't think oil is flax, right? I think oil is flax or something like that. I'm actually not sure about that, but I know that they don't make fish oil, do they? I don't think they make fish oil, so it's highly unlikely that that is the case. There's clay here, and there's grain as well as horses. Well, that's also somewhat problematic. Ooh, throwing axe. That could be quite good. Let's see what else we have going on here. Caravan ambush could be quite useful. Alright, let's join another tournament. We are the Duelist for a reason. Let's head in. We do have some southern throwing axes as a reward here. Wow, this is a significant battle. Okay, this is going to be kind of interesting. Don't get shot. Ah, okay. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. I'm kind of worried. There's very many reasons why, but for now, I will just try to concentrate. All of my friends have been eliminated. Well, that's not so good. Oh, nice. Nice kill right there. Now, I'm not entirely sure on the whole formula regarding who gets to go through and who doesn't and so on and so forth. As far as I'm aware, as long as you're not the first to get eliminated, you should have a pretty reasonable time of going through. But I'm still not particularly fluent with the actual requirements, so I generally just tend to eliminate as many people as I can and then just hope. That's pretty much it. I used to know in Warband that if you eliminated at least one in the first round and then two from then on in every other round, then you would be automatically through as long as you got those kills. But it's a little bit different here as far as I'm aware, but there you go. We actually did achieve victory, believe it or not, even without using our patented Duelist style. Ooh, nice. Okay, I actually do get the opportunity to now use this. Actually, I'm going to ask you something, I think, that I've wanted to know for a while. I think there is a way to drop my shield, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. So that is, not sure what the key is, to be honest. So I'm thinking that I will probably try and figure that out. I think it is... I don't really want to, you see, I don't really want to sacrifice the victory, you see. So I kind of don't want to mess around with keybinds right now when I'm currently being shot at. You know, that would be pretty awful. So let me just see here. Boom. Okay, you're dead. So now let me see. Is it backslash? No, it's not backslash. What about backspace? No. What about G? No, that dropped my sword. Okay. G is drop sword. That's the exact reason why I didn't want to do that while we were being attacked. That would have been pretty awful. Yeah. So there must be a way to drop the shield. I'm sure that it is listed in the key bindings, but I just wondered whether it's not listed. Maybe someone knows. But whatever the case, we're doing fine. We're doing fine, and we do have that that skill that reduces the amount of weight that a shield even causes on us. So I think that's absolutely fine. Now, bear in mind that obviously they don't do the thing in Warband like they did in Warband, where they give you an opponent with a different weapon type to you, because they used to do that where when you entered the final round, you had no idea what your opponent was going to be using. But in Bannerlord, they've made it so that it's very normalized. And basically, if you have a sword and a shield, then they have a sword and a shield. And that's how it works. However, in Warband, it was different, where maybe you have a bow and your enemy has, I don't know, like a horse or something, a horse and maybe a sword and a shield or something like that. So yeah, generally it is a little bit different in that aspect, which I gotta say I felt like it added quite a bit to the shall we say dynamicism of the whole game, because then you have no idea what is going to happen. But it did make it a little unfair. So obviously there are those moments where you kind of feel like the game has cheated you out of a victory, potentially. Because you think, oh, but, you know, if they hadn't given me a bow and a dagger that I can't block with in the final round up against this, I don't know, champion fighter or something along those lines, or just don't even mention those elite hero units, because those hero units would absolutely slaughter anyone that they can get their hands on. You know, those are the kinds of situations that I'm talking about. So I suppose them normalizing it a little bit and making it more uniform in the way that the equipment works is just assisting with that, which I do understand. I absolutely do understand that. But it would be cool to have those kinds of moments, because then you have to overcome, you know, some kind of problematic situation, and hopefully you're going to achieve victory, you know, against all odds, pretty much. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. The timing was completely off on my part right there. That was really bad. Maybe I can get a nice little swing in here or there. No? Okay, apparently all my forces are just murdering everything. Let's tell everyone to charge, if I haven't done that already, of course. Well, never mind. I think, you know what? I might like to try using a knife. I might like to try using one just purely for the fact that I am curious. I'm very curious about how it's going to respond in an actual battle situation. I know that a knife is probably going to be superior in every single aspect except field battles. And field battles are, well, I don't know, 70-80% of the game most of the time, because you're going to be running around, you're going to be trying to win against enemy vassals, you're going to be doing these kinds of bandit fights and so on and so forth, and having a very, very short weapon is not going to be too conducive to that, which is somewhat unfortunate, to be honest, because I would like to gain such significant power in regards to the whole duelist mechanic, because if you make a knife and you have exceedingly fast swing speed, there's no one that can beat you. Not in the entirety of the land of Calradia. No one is going to be able to beat you if you have one of these weapons, because the handling of it, the swing speed of it, is so significant that it's just insane, the amount of the advantage that you gain from it. Anyway, enough about that. We're gonna just do a little bit of selling right here. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not keeping any weapons that are super expensive. I might sell the simple saber actually, because these are gonna sell for over 1,000 for both of them, which I think is pretty decent. And I would like, what? There's actually... Are you serious? The prize is a smacker sword. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something about this. I need to get this thing out of circulation as fast as possible, so it seems like I will have to join this one as well. I am extremely injured, so I guess this is gonna be one of those times where I have a significant handicap, and the enemy is going to get, well, very lucky by the looks of things. They're probably going to be able to murder me without any problems whatsoever, but that's just going to increase my legend, isn't it? It will increase the legend of Mr. Bruce. Oh, look at that. Wow. He's actually doing some pretty decent damage. Ooh, I was aiming for the head right there. Did you see that? The little flick of the mouse towards the head area, but unfortunately I was not able to connect. Nice. There we go. We got him in the shoulder that time. Alright. So let's just skip through the round. I'm against an Aserai peasant. Okay, you may think to yourself, this is going to be easy. Well, yeah, let's not do that, because overconfidence is a killer, and I know them well. Oh yes, I know them very, very well. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at it. He chambered. Did you see that? He literally chambered that. Now, of course, I did achieve victory here, but that could have gone very differently. And it's actually kind of a bit scary how good peasant units and very low-tier bandits and all that stuff can be at times. They can be extremely dangerous. Nice. There's a good little bit of damage right there. Nice. Oh, phew. Okay, that was great. Really wanted to eliminate at least one of them super, super quickly. Unfortunately, Mr. Tyus is going to be quite difficult for us to eliminate, and he's probably going to eliminate our friend first. Oh, never mind. Yeah, someone actually mentioned in the comments of, I think, the previous episode, that AI Lords seem to die in one hit with this new patch in tournaments, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. It must be some weird thing going on. I'm gonna take a look after this. Oh, I swing pretty slowly, don't I? This is bad. Okay, come on, get him. No, oh, no, okay, that was close. Wow. I don't think I hit his head, but okay, apparently the game thought I hit his head, so I'm happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Okay, so we gained a smack of sword. Look at my renown. My renown is skyrocketing up right now. Just purely for the fact that we've done, what, 2 tasks? 1 task? I don't know. 1 task, a couple of bandit fights, and 2 tournaments. But you can see how fast it actually goes up with the additional perk bonuses. It really makes a huge difference. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at the garrison here. Is he actually here? Where's Tyus? I don't see him here. Do you? I don't see him. I'm going to actually wait for him for a real quick second, because if I wait for him, and you know what? I think I might join... Oh no, never mind. I was going to say, I might join the Aserai, because there are a number of Crusade vassals around here, and I know I said I wanted to potentially stay independent until we created our own faction and everything, and that is basically my current goal, to become powerful enough for us to be able to, you know, possibly do a siege and then head on from there. However, having a look at this guy's army kind of gives me a little bit of food for thought in that aspect, because if you look at it, he's got Ascendance of Wrath, he has those Imperial Elite Manavliatons, and what else does he have? Like heavy horse archers, heavy lancers, marksmen, a number of pretty strong units. And generally, if he had, let's just say, tier 3, tier 4, and he had about 59, because that's what he has, and he had 59 of those, you know, kinds of units, I'd probably be able to achieve some kind of victory there. But as it stands, he's quite a bit stronger than you'd think, and that is a bit scary, so not entirely sure. Oh, look at this! The Crusade... Wait a minute, this is not even the Crusade, this is the Southern Empire. The Southern Empire is encroaching on Aserai lands, and look at this. There's actually a large-scale battle going on here. Now, this is the kind of situation that I could get myself in on here. If I join the Aserai right now, maybe just as a mercenary, that might actually make sense thematically as well, because if you think about it, if you know, take the whole duelist theme just that little bit further, because obviously we're going into tournaments, and we're doing tournament after tournament after tournament, and we are, you know, known for being one of the best swordsmen in the land, although that's probably not the case, you know, at the moment. But let's just move over, you know, let's move on from that particular point. The fact is, mercenary work is just a little step forward apart from that, so I think it might make sense. Anyway, I'm going to be increasing our polearm damage while not mounted by 2%, and infantry troops in the formation you're leading have their damage increased by 2%. These perks are basically useless for me and my current character build, but it's nice to know that we have a little bit of a bonus to using polearms. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to ask... I'd like to enter into the service. My sword is yours for the right sum. I will get 170 gold. 170 gold. I mean, I don't really care about the gold that much. I kind of, all I really want, and I know, and this might actually sound pretty cool in regards to the whole theming of the Duelist and everything, but I basically just want glory, don't we? We just want glory, we want renown, we want fame, and we want to try and spread our legend throughout the lands of Calradia. So I'm thinking we're probably going to be doing that. There we go. The Beartilt have contracted to fight alongside the Azurai. Amusingly enough, the Beartilt and the Southern Slavers have made peace. Right? So long as the dinars keep flowing, so will the blood of your enemies. That's what I'll say. Ooh, yeah. Ah, look at that. Bruce seems to be quite a cool character. Oh, yes, he certainly does. All right, so let's move on and see if we can maybe do a little bit of damage to our opponents here. Not this guy. Not this guy. No. Don't go that way, Bruce. Come on now. Don't go that way. That would be a huge mistake. This one, however... Yes, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, now bear in mind that we are going to be quite, shall we say, again, quite opportunistic, because I don't really want to go into a battle against a guy that I am more than likely going to lose against. Just look at him. He's got a total of 20 legionnaires. He's got 7 Palatine guards. He's got elite Melavliatons. And just look at that. His entire party could basically be made up of about 40 or so units, and that would be enough for him to achieve victory against us. That easily. That is pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. So we're going to have to be very, very cautious going forward here. Bear in mind that, of course, we haven't really done any vassal battles just yet. And this one, while we do have an advantage in terms of combat strength, can be quite easily lost dependent on tactics and strategies employed by both sides. Obviously, if she is remarkably better than I am, or if I get myself killed early on, then it is highly likely that she will achieve victory over us, which is not something that we want to do, that's for certain, because becoming a mercenary, the whole point of doing that is to try and gain as much power as we possibly can, without really putting ourselves into a situation where we are beholden to something or someone way too much. And I quite like my army composition at the moment as well. As you can see, we've got 40 infantry, 34 archers, and 14 cavalry. Personally, I feel like this is a very nice balanced force. Najun got himself taken out. Are you serious right now? Right. I'm actually kind of surprised about that, to be honest. I'm going to tell everyone to charge in. My tactics skill is leveling up. Hopefully it is going to level up enough. And I'm kind of strafing a little bit myself because I'm a bit worried about getting shot by one of those crossbowmen. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that. We actually gained a level. Fantastic. Let's see if I can do some more damage. Oh, this... What? Look at the damage I'm doing to this guy. I'm doing 4 damage to him. What? That was... Are you serious? That's an Azurai veteran infantry? I did 38 to that one, though. And 84 to this one. I hit him in the head, I think. Yeah, I did hit him in the head. How did I only do 4 damage to that other fellow? I think the maximum that I hit that guy for was 16? Yeah, I think I hit him for 16 damage maximum. I'm shocked. I'm sort of left a little bit reeling there because I thought to myself, oh, we should be able to, get a couple of kills at the at the very least. But that was actually kind of a wake-up call a little bit. All right, well, we're gaining a little bit of influence here as well. Obviously, influence doesn't really matter that much to a mercenary. So, yeah, not sure what's going to happen with that. But I'm going to take her prisoner for the moment. And we do have the opportunity to take a couple of... Oh, yeah, this is actually quite nice. I will be taking every single person... and rescuing them, with the exception of the looter. I'm not going to be taking the looter right now. There's also a large number of prisoners here that I would like to potentially take 2. So I think I'm going to get rid of all these guys. And we will take the high tier units because, let's face it, they're going to sell for a massive amount. They really will. If I can find, and this is a very big caveat here, if I can find one of those tasks that is looking for manual laborers and give all of the Imperial units to them, I will be rolling in the cash even more than we already are, so that would be fantastic. Obviously it is a rather big caveat because I'm not entirely sure whether that's really going to work. You know, it's quite a common task to find, but maybe we're going to be unlucky and we won't find it for a while. But anyway, we do have a number of pretty decent weapons here. Ooh, now this is potentially a better sword. I'm actually liking this quite a bit because it's got better handling and everything. And the swing speed is actually better too. So I'm thinking that I'm going to be using this. There we go. And I will now be taking the remaining weapons. And ooh, here we go. Nice, look at that. We actually do have a better set of shoulders. Very good. And there is... Well, that's, I think that's a little bit... Wow, that's actually insanely good. I mean, obviously, I'm not looking at the price right now, by the way. I'm not going to be selling any of these things because it's going to make money, you know, trivial. But here's the thing. I'm just thinking about using it. Is it worth me using this? Because bear in mind, I'm not using a shield. Actually, let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? Because it has a very significant amount of body armor, leg armor, and arm armor. So it would pretty much solve all of our defensive problems. But obviously I'm not going to be selling it. I feel like it is a bit too... It's a bit too expensive to sell. I mean, it's 200,000. You know, that's very, very... that's a very large amount of money. That is due to the better looting mod, by the way. If you don't know what the better looting mod does, basically what it does is if there is a piece of loot that your opponent is wearing, and I can only assume that the enemy vassal Eteria, I can only assume that she was wearing that set of armor, and as a result of us defeating her, we have been able to plunder it, and that has then basically given us the ability to loot it ourselves, which in my opinion is more realistic. I think I mean, that was the main reason why I even bothered installing the mod, because it just makes, in my opinion at least, everything much more realistic. Because if you indeed do defeat an enemy vassal, what are you going to do? You know, as a potential bandit leader, for example, or as an opportunistic someone or other like we're playing right now, it kind of makes sense to gain... Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Okay, whew. I was a little bit worried there for a second, but yeah, kind of makes sense to gain that person's armaments at least a little bit. So that's the reason why I decided to go for it. Okay, so let's have a look here. Oh, these guys are all running around with extremely good armies, actually. They have usually a lot of legionnaires, and a lot of Imperial Sergeant crossbowmen and all that stuff as well. I'm basically just hoping on sort of sticking around here and trying to skirmish with the opponent more than anything, which is maybe not the best idea. Maybe not the best idea. I'd like to get back to Aserai territory, if at all possible. So we'll see what happens, but otherwise, I think that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like. It is greatly appreciated. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.